What's up, guys? Welcome to Planet Coaster 2, where we are going to build a water park. That's the whole point behind this. It's just going to be a water park. We might add a ride or two in there just for funsies, but I'm really more focused on doing a water park. I mean, that's like the big main feature of Planet Coaster 2, right? Is water parks and edible paving. That's really it. So I figured, why not? We're gonna do Taiga. We're gonna do a water park up in the mountains. So let's go. What are we gonna call it? We are gonna call this. What's a good name? You know what? Manitou Springs. I like that. And what is this? Perfect is creative. I want to be creative with this park. We might add some of the backstage stuff just for a little touch of realism, but we'll find out. This is going to be a mixture between realistic and just having fun, which is the way I like to build my parks. Right, so let's take a look. What do we got for Thega? So we've got all this stuff back here. So this whole line, basically. How far up does it? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so we can come all the way up here if we wanted. Lots of topography in here. But we cannot build into the water, which that's kind of a bummer. That's a real bummer, man. Like, why not? I want to be able to build like a ferry. So this is one of the things I don't like about the maps that Frontier gives us. So we have a people generator that is a ferry boat. As a matter of fact, you know what? Instead of just talking about it, let's see here. Is it under scenery or facilities? I forgot which one it is. It's not shops, guess. Entrance. Actually, it's probably a blueprint. Is it facilities? No. I'm gonna find it. Just give me some time. Give me a little bit of time, guys. I'll find it for you. I'll find it. I promise. Yeah, right here. Right here. The ferry guest entrance, right? So we have this. But we can't do anything with it. Like, it is the most pointless, useless hunk of garbage blueprint that I've ever seen, because we can't build into the water on any of these maps. Like, ideally, we'd want something that goes off into the distance where you can't see a hard break. And this would be perfect. This would be absolutely perfect. And I would do it here if it made sense, but we can't build in the water, so whatever. We'll have to make do, I suppose. We're gonna have to figure out how we're going to bring the guest in, and I do want it to make sense. So we come out all the way up. Wow, okay. So we've actually got a lot to work with here, which is good. It's good. But what we're not going to do is keep all this other stuff. So all of you folks, you know, I hate to say it, but goodbye. We're going to get rid of all that. I'm actually going to get rid of pretty much everything. If I can delete it, I'm going to. Because I can add in my own scenery. That's not a big deal. Adding in my own scenery is no problem. I actually prefer to add in my own. That way the park is truly, completely, 100% mine. I'll keep that water there for now. I'm not sure if I'm going to build up in here or not. So one of the things, I mean, it is a water park, so it doesn't have to be ginormous, right? We can make it pretty cut and dry, really simple. This is more than enough room for a water park, I think. Maybe not, it might be too small, we might have to cut into the edges, I don't know. So, what are we going to do? How are we going to make an entrance that makes sense? That's the big thing. And a lot of my building, if I haven't made it clear before, when I build, it's very fluid. I'll have a very rough idea of kind of what I want to do, but once I start building, that idea usually goes to crap, and I end up building something completely different. So I'm not stuck with just any one idea per se. This is all pretty, for the most part, it's looking pretty flat. How do the guests get in here though? A road doesn't make sense. We can't put a boat in. Actually, let's do this. Let's flatten this stuff down right up in here. Oh, good, that just falls off like that. Alright, cool, I like that. I like that. So this can kind of be our staging point, or starting point, if you will. That we can work with. What makes sense? Like, we can do a parking garage. We can build some of this stuff up and have like a road that rolls through here, and then towards the end we can make like a tunnel. I mean, that's certainly an idea that we can roll with. So we can do something like that. And then we can make a parking lot. I really don't want to make a parking lot though. I really truly don't. I kind of want the parking lot to be implied, but we need a place for the guests to come out of. If I press play, will these guys eventually just disappear? What if I close the park? Will they disappear now? Do the guests just not disappear? Okay, well it's kind of weird, but alright. What do you guys think? How should we build this up into a water park? I actually am thinking, we can build, what if we built like a big area? Well, it could also be just a regular old bus stop, couldn't it? It could just be a bus stop on the road. Maybe we'll just start with that. So if we flatten this out, blah blah blah, all up through here, we'll build our tunnel like somewhere in here. It doesn't gotta be perfect, it's just gotta make sense. I like my entrance to at least somewhat make sense. Is this gonna tunnel if I do this, or will it not tunnel? Doesn't look like it's gonna tunnel for us. That's fine. We can build it. Oh, there, now it's tunneling. Perfect. Perfect. You don't really want to be able to see up in there. I mean, we're going to, clearly. What is that? I have no clue what that is. I don't think the devs intended us to see that. Whatever it is. Right, so we can have that tunnel, and then we can build like maybe another tunnel over in here, make a little bus stop, do somewhat of a courtyard, then build our entrance gate into the park. Okay. That seems like a viable plan. So, if we go... We could probably just lay down a path. That would be my guess. We can probably just lay down a path here. And we'll go stamp... Oh, stamp scale 4. Man, that's enough for a bus stop. We might do 2. I do have to remember that I'm trying to build a tunnel up here. So maybe I should build the tunnel first. Terrain. Don't need it that big. I mean, that kind of works. Not really. Not really what I was going for there. But we do want to build this up. I think... Can't really tell how high that is, but it looks like we're about right. So if we do that, shoot. Okay, I could do this probably fairly simple now. Hey, how about that? Hopefully it's not cutting down. It is. Alright, we'll just have to tunnel through there, which I'm okay with. We'll make it all blend. That's not an issue. We can blend all that in. Right, and then we do... Oh, I wanted to keep that. We're going to flatten it, foundation, and we did what, 4? Oh my gosh. Sliders. Can I just type in 4? Oh, I love it. Okay. So we definitely did, oh, right, we did 8, didn't we? No, we did more than 8. 60's too much. You know what? 28 should do us just fine. Ooh, that's dark back in there. Alright. It's perfect. That's what I want. I want darkness. Absolute darkness. Foot fell asleep. Not good. Right, so then a road, and what we can do is we can just have like a bus pull off. Really, we can only do 3 meter for our stamp. It's kind of crappy. Let's see, this one is the closest here, so... Oh, shoot. Let's find, what do we got here? Asphalt. We can do that, and we can change the color to black. Okay, it's already black, so let's do that. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is the quickest and easiest way to build a road in this game. Now, I want it to go back far enough to where if anybody looks too deep, they're gonna see it. And I might even build like walls, concrete walls, just like you would see in real life. And some people might say, well, you know, it'd be easier if you just use the draw tool. Yeah, it might be. Looks like we're gonna have to build this out a little bit more. We actually probably could have done this and just tunneled our way through. Yeah, that automatically builds tunnels. Alright, cool. You know what? I'm not hating on it. I am not hating on it. Let's go here. Oops. We're just gonna flatten to this. Yeah. Come out like that. Oh no! That didn't work the way I wanted it to. This does, though. That absolutely works. Cool. Nice. So we've got a makeshift road. So we can build like guardrails and stuff like that. Should probably think about building our concrete walls. So we'll go scenery, build, we'll get rid of create custom, go walls. Do we have concrete? Of course we don't. Oh, we got wall trim. I could use this. I 100% absolutely could. We could even use this for like barriers. Just recolor it. But I'm not down with that. What do we got for stone? Aquatic metal. Well, I mean, if we painted that like concrete, maybe if we do like a dark gray. Oh, that looks like concrete slabs. Hey, go back. What was it, dark gray? I guess I gotta hit confirm, huh? So if we do something like this, you go boom. Grid height's at 4 meters, perfect. Wow, I could not have planned that any better, if I'm gonna be honest. could not have planned that any better. Alright. So then if we go Z, boom, boom, and I'll just copy those and bring them up. It's a lot of pieces for something that nobody's going to pay attention to, but I'm oddly okay with that. How far back did I go? I went back pretty far. I don't need to go back that dang far. I don't think. I think that'll be sufficient. Oh, I don't like how that light's shining through. I mean, it'll get covered. Should get covered. Oh, you know what I want to do? Actually, let's edit this. We are going to duplicate this guy. So what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there and there. That's my middle. That's the line that I'm going to build my divider in. Although now that I'm looking at it, we might even be able to get away with just a 4-foot road. Because I don't think the bus is that dang big. Should we do a 4-foot road? Or a 4-meter road? So I'd have these 3. And then my divider would be right here. Oh, but I wouldn't be able to... I mean, I could if I went to like 50 meters. Oops, that's the height. If I did 1 meter... we could... Decisions. What would you guys do? I mean, that looks like a pretty fat road. Although I guess there would be kind of like a median area in there. There would be a median. So we might be able to even... let's see, what do we got? Now's the time to play around with this stuff, right? We've already got, you know, kind of what we're looking for. So if we come here, we go delete. Delete stamp tool, if we do something like that. And if I break this thing down, like right there in the middle, I would have my median. God, I'm gonna have to do this individually. Oh, why did it do that? I don't like how it snapped like that. So I'm gonna have to do this methodically. So we can still keep our road, which is cool, and we can have a 2-lane road. I think we got it, folks. I think we've got this. Alright, so that gives me the idea of what I want to do, which is perfect. And then what we'll do is we'll move this guy, not right there. Change our grid size. We'll put that one there. And then this one, why is it jutting off like that? That is so weird. It's not perfect, but we can do like that since we're going into a tunnel. Yeah. Okay, you know what? I kind of like how that's working out. All right, cool. So then we'll grab you and you. Copy that. Let's turn our grid back to 4 meters. Why is it off now? What the absolute flip is going on here? What the flip is going on? Is it because I changed this one? If I come here, edit building, I select this, I select this. What if I just delete those? There, now it's lined up. Okay. That was funky. Did not like, but that's alright. We can do that. I like that. I mean, if I really, really wanted to go hard, I could do concrete all the way around. But I think that's more effort than what it's worth. Let's do this a little bit at a time. I messed up. I have a double piece selected. Right. Well, I mean, it's gonna get there. It's just, this is gonna take time, y'all. It's gonna take time. So what I'll do is, you see the basics of what I'm doing, right? So instead of keeping you guys around for hours on end as I build out this tunnel, I'm gonna do a hard cut and I'll bring you back once it's done. Alright, well, I think I've got a little something going on here. So I completed the base of that one. Now, looking at this one, and I look at this one, I like the curve. I like the arches here. So I'm going to replicate that over here. Another thing I did just to kind of prevent seeing the cave is I put some floor pieces up there, which is fine, and I made it this big because I wanted to make sure I can fit the bus in there. At least make it seem like, yeah, a bus could come through here. And it does just fine. We could totally work that out. That's not an issue at all. So I'm happy with that. And then what I can do is I can put our buses lined up down over here. So this will be kind of like a bus lane drop-off point. I'm not, oh, well, from what I did there is I created like a concrete barrier on this side because like driving through Colorado, which is kind of where I imagine this and where I'm going to base it out of, if I'm going to be completely honest, you'll see these barriers usually on the sides of like cliffs, which we can't realistically do here and make it look right. But it still gives that impression, so drivers aren't going to just veer off, you know. One thing I could do is I could do like a scenic overview type thing right here. Maybe have it like where this pulls off and continue this pathing through here. And just have like a scenic viewpoint. I mean, that's something that we could do just to add that little bit more realism. And I mean, technically I might be able to get rid of some of these barriers too. Just a thought. So from there, what I did was I did know that I wanted a 2-lane highway. So we've got our median right here, which I'm going to use these barriers, these little 1-meter barriers on either side here. Same thing over here. But from there, I mean, it's kind of looking pretty good. These are kind of a pain in the butt to put in. So what I do is I grab the solid marble. I change the color to the same gray just to make it blend in a little bit. It's not a perfect match, but it's close enough. And you have to build one here, and then you have to exit out, build one here, and then from here you can put in the little 1-meter piece here, exit out, and then wash, rinse, and repeat. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and I'll show you kind of how that works for those of you who might be new. So we'll come over to scenery, we'll go marble solid, just like that. And then I go to my arches. Here's the first one that I want. We're going to match our grays on both. And then we hit Z a few times to get it angled the way we want it angled. And this is where, I mean, me particularly, I get kind of OCD about it. So right here, I'm looking at this bottom because I want it to mesh in pretty much as perfect as I can get it, something like that. And then what I'm doing is I'm looking at my sides. So that's probably about as close as I'm going to be able to get it before it starts clipping. So what you don't want is for your textures to clip or fight with each other. Some people call it texture fighting. I just call it clipping or texture clipping. Once I have that, I set that guy up. Yeah, that's actually, that looks pretty good. I don't see any, oh, there was a gap there. Crap, I pressed the wrong button. So I kind of, that's one of the things I don't like about this game in particular is if you press the wrong button at the right time, it kind of resets what you just did. But no big deal. We will start from scratch, and this is why I don't sit here and have you guys for the whole thing. I don't record all of this. I just want to give those who might be new to the game kind of an idea of what they can do and how to do it. So really you got to pay attention to this dark area and kind of try to contrast it with the lighter area. So there, that's gone. There's our texture clip. So we're going to push it back just so ever so slightly. And now we want to make it to where we don't have a gap up on top. And that's looking pretty good. So we're going to set it. So now it doesn't matter how I set my grid height. I cannot build these on the same grid because of how we originally did all this, which kind of sucks. So we have to exit out, exit out, exit out, and then we repeat. So we'll pick our colors. See? I mean, it doesn't hurt to get it kind of where you're going to want it. However you do it, it's entirely up to you. So right about there, it blends in. And then ever so slowly, we're trying to get that. And we might have to make some more adjustments, but for now, that's looking pretty dang good, I'd say. So here, we just come over to our building pieces, find our little block, but for this, we have to change our grid height down. We gotta get our colors, almost forgot. It'd be nice if it would just remember your color selection. And so, boom, just like that. And one side of our tunnel is done in that aspect for the arches at any rate. And I mean, it's pretty dang close. It's pretty dang close. The roof, I'll do all in one go after I do the other side. And I'll just lay the roof down completely. So I'm not going to do the other side on camera. I'll just do that off camera along with the ceiling. And then for this, I used a lot of the draw tool and stamp tool to get our little loading and unloading area here. I'm not a fan of some of this though, so let's mess around, see if we can't get something that looks good. So we've got our rounding tool, and I'm not sure. Ah, there we go. Oh, see, now I like that. I like that a lot. And if we do that, I mean, it softened that out quite a bit. I do like that. Okay, I'm going to keep that. It's not wanting to do anything with that. But I mean, that's actually not terrible. There we go. I'm actually okay with that. I mean, that's pretty realistic. I mean, you're going to have an angle at some point in time. You know what? I'm okay with that. It's not perfectly symmetrical. Not by any means. This side's a little bit further this way. It could come out more this way, but I don't think anybody's really going to look at it all that hard, if I'm going to be honest. So this is all going to be like detail work. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to move these barriers over here, basically following this. I'll do the same over here. I'm going to end up putting like some kind of lane indicators right over in here to show that, hey, you're not supposed to turn in there unless you mean to, or I'll say buses or something like that. I might even throw in some of these barriers to kind of show where the turn in and turn out is. This is our turnaround point for buses, taxis, cars, whatever, so they can come in over here to get on this lane. Or if they want to, if they're coming from this direction, they can come in and turn in this way. So that's why I have that there. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and detail this out. We'll bring you guys back in for possibly the final product. I know what I want to do is I'm going to put in some like signage. I'm not sure how or where I'm going to put in the signage. But like the Eisenhower Tunnel, it'll have like 3 X's and 3 circles. The circles will be green, saying, hey, you can go through. If it's X's, it'll say, hey, you got to take the longer way around through the tunnel. Because, you know, there might be an emergency in the tunnel and they don't want traffic going into the tunnel when there's an emergency. So on this side, I'll have like the 3 circles, the 3 X's. I'll probably have the circles green, and I'll just have the X's grayed out. And then I'll do the same over on this side here, since traffic will be flowing that way. And I'm not sure, but I might even throw in like some signage saying to Durango. And then over here, to Aspen, something like that. We'll figure it out. One way or another, I'll figure it out. And I might even throw in some lights, some like overhead lights in the tunnels because, I mean, that's just safety. You want lighting in your major tunnelways. And I think I might even throw like a bus. Show like a bus coming out this way and maybe even one going that way. I don't know. Or maybe one coming out this way. I'll figure it out. But this is really how I kind of start my parks. I start my park at the very beginning. And I do all of my detail work that I want to get done right from the get-go. And then I'll build like my plaza and my entrance gate, get all that detailed out. Then I'll come back and I'll do like the landscaping portion, the garden work. Just so I have a nice big picture of what I'm looking at and I know what I want to do. So I will bring you back in for once I'm done with all the detail work, and then we'll go from there. I might even show off the detail work at the beginning of the next episode just to keep these videos semi-short. But yeah, let's do that. All right, you know what? I'm actually really liking the way this is turning out, so you can definitely see we've made some changes, or we've added some things. So as before, we did our archways, and I put the ceilings in, and that's on both sides. I also added these lights going down, which is very much what you would see in something like the Eisenhower Tunnel. And then I put on these highway signs. So we got the blue sign saying Aspen, and then I put open on top of a screen. And it just worked out really, really well. I had to light these up a bit, and you'll see why in a moment when I go nighttime. These lights, so this is actually a single light post here since there's no double light posts like this inside the game, at least not yet. So I put these singulars down, then I just duplicated them, swapped them 90 degrees, and it looks like it's one light post. But it hits both sides of the road, which that came out really, really nice. Since we're here, I used these aquatic barriers. We'll just do this. So the aquatic beveled wall, 1 meter. And I just painted it the color that I wanted to kind of match everything else. I painted it that same gray. And I used that all over the place. I mean, I just used it all over the place. We did end up putting in like the scenic overlook or the scenic overlook. I might have to put like a little sign or something like that saying scenic overlook ahead. Added some cars like this, the van's pulling in. We got the little buggy right there. Kind of just stopped just so you can kind of overlook the lake there. These lines here, so these guys are they're just the taller ones. I think they're the 4 meters. The aquatic metal wall, 4 meter half width. So I use those as kind of like my lane markers saying, hey, you know, people, you can go in and out of this area because it's a broken white line, which means you can cross it. For our solid white line, we use these guys here, which are your aquatic metal beveled wall trim. I didn't realize there was a smooth one, otherwise I would have used the smooth one, the non-beveled one. But I do kind of like the beveled one anyways, because it acts kind of like a rumble strip. I don't know where you are in the world, but here in the US, especially up in the mountains, we get these like rumble strips saying, hey, you're going off the side of the road. And it kind of reminds me of that. So I liked how I did that, and they are double-sided, which kind of sucks. but it also worked out in my favor. So, like this one here, if we pick one, we can see we've got one on this side and one on that side. They don't come singular. They both the smooth and these beveled ones come double-sided like that. So I just had to work with it. But I mean, like this in here, I'm gonna put bushes in here, so you're not even gonna really see that on the inside. Over here, it's gonna be kind of the same way. This is all gonna be masked, so I'm not worried about that at all. And I mean, it really did work out for us really nicely. Over here, I put the double yellowed ones, saying, hey, this is a lane, this is a lane, don't cross over it. What else did we do in here? I think that's really about it. I put in this this rock wall because it is supposed to be a scenic overlook, so it should be kind of scenic and natural instead of this man-made concrete type looking stuff. And I also added wall lights just so people don't go over the cliff here. I also put them on this side as well. And I was kind of screwing around, and I figured I'd use that same rock wall, the Viking wall, kind of as my park barrier. So once I know how I'm going to do the entrance going up into the gate and all that good stuff, I'll probably mess with this some more, but right now it's not that big of a deal. The only thing I want to do is make like a bus lane, but I'm not quite sure how I want to go about it. I'm also considering making it covered. So again, not quite sure how I want to go about that, but I might do like car parking, a little spot for car parking right up in here and maybe over here, and then do a bus lane type deal right here. And we might even have a car or van parked just to show, hey, that's car parking. And I'll do that with these pieces here. And I'll just make a solid white line. I'll do it with some wall piece, but I'll do like a solid white line showing, hey, that's car parking. Over here, the bus lane, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to go about doing that. I might just do like some hash lines and do like a little sign saying bus parking. And I might even do a little sign saying car parking or something. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's kind of been running in my mind how I want to go about it. And I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to go about it. So, hey, it is what it is. I do know that I kind of want like a drive-through area so people can actually just drive through it if they wanted to. We've got plenty of room for that, so that's not a big deal. But anyways, let's take a look at this at night. So as you can see, our tunnel's well lit at nighttime. And I need to sneeze. All right. Gotta love these dry winters here in Colorado. But anyways, so we do have lighting in our tunnel. It kind of breaks the fact that, I mean, it clearly comes to a stop, right? But it is what it is. I could try to do like a forced perspective thing where I have these walls move in ever so slightly. I just don't see the need for it, to be honest. Nobody's really going to pay that much attention. The intent is clear. So I'm okay with that. Our road signs. So these guys I had to pull out. So like with these, they're kind of embedded in, but here you can see the base of our lights. And I had to do that in order to get the open to really pop out. So like I'll show you. If I move that in, you know, it's dark. So I just brought it out. I mean, I could get away with that, but I figured, you know what, we'll just bring it out. That looks good. It's nice and highlighted. You can see it. You can see the open easily, which is, it kind of mimics what you would see going through, and I keep mentioning it, the Eisenhower Tunnel here in Colorado. They have these lanes, and sometimes you'll see the X's on some of the tunnels, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure with the Eisenhower Tunnel, it has these little screens that say open or closed instead of the X's and O's. I've seen the X's and O's, I just can't remember where, and it might be the Eisenhower Tunnel. I don't know for sure. Either way, I figured this gets the point across easier than the X's and O's, and it works out really well. It makes it look like, hey, this is actually an LED screen, and it's saying it's open. If the lane was closed, it would say closed. So, I think it worked out really, really well. I'm quite pleased with myself, to be honest with you, at how well this did end up turning out for our roadway coming into our park. There's not a whole lot to show for the work. I'm going to be honest, like, this is kind of a boring episode. We're not building rides, we're not doing any of that stuff. We're just setting up for the park to actually look really, really good. We're making a realistic reason for people to be in our park instead of those buses just sitting out in the wilderness with no road. Like, how do they get there? Again, we talked about the boat. We can't use the boat because we can't build into the water off the map. So this works out really, really well. Again, I'm quite pleased with myself. Tooting my own horn a little bit. Honestly, I think this was rather a clever way of going about it. And having the scenic overlook right here, I mean, it's just kind of like the icing on the top, man. I mean, it's just, it's good. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like this? Do you like where we're going with this? Again, I'll probably do it off camera before I shoot the next episode or before I record the next episode, where we're going to start working on the plaza and the entrance gate. That's my plans for the next episode anyways. But in between this video releasing and that next episode, recording that next episode, I'm going to go ahead and do some of the garden work in here. I'll probably do some work up with this because, I mean, let's face it, the flat plateaus, whereas they're realistic, they're kind of not. They would be more rough than this. So I'm going to try to make the tops of those blend in more with the surroundings. And like I said, garden work, so we're going to have rocks and trees and flowers and bushes and all that good stuff along the side of the road and inside our little lane divider here. Just to pretty it up, make it look nicer. The trees are not going to be too extensive because you're going to want to see oncoming traffic and all that good stuff. But I figured some bushes would be more than sufficient. So, there we have it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Do you like what we're doing with this? Do you not like it? If you don't like it, tell me why. If you have ideas, let me know. I could change a lot of stuff. Especially if you've got ideas for the bus lane. Again, that's something I might do off camera, is build that bus lane. So, again, let me know your thoughts, your suggestions, if you like what we've got going on so far, if you don't like it, and why. And with that, guys, we're going to call it a video. If you like the video, hit that like button. If I've earned it, hit that subscribe button. And as always, be safe, be cool, and have fun. We'll catch you in the next one.